Okay, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. As you already know, this is your US General 5-drawer tool cart with side tray and deep compartment. Today is Wednesday, as you can see. We just now making it back over to the storage unit. Okay. In today's segment, I'm going to give a little demonstration to some modifications technically that I'm about to do to this 5-drawer US General tool cart. All right. If you follow the videos and you follow the content, you would know that this modification has something to do with the Husky magnetic power cordless tool organizer, in which I am planning to install 2 of them towards the back end of the cart. Okay, if you are unfamiliar with the Husky magnetic power cordless tool organizer, that is in which you are seeing here, okay, which I actually have one already located towards the side of the cart. Technically, these Husky magnetic power cordless tool organizers technically only hold 3 power tools, but the way that I have it designed, okay, and modified, it actually holds 5 different units, okay, on one particular holster. All right, so with technically mounting 2 to the back, in which each unit holds 3 guns. All right, there will be 6 slots for 6 different particular guns in 2 different units, with 2 extra extensions would actually make it 8 different units towards the back end of the cart. Okay, the units that will be placed on the back end of the cart is more for my pneumatic impacts, just as well as quite a few other cordless tools. All right, but when it comes to some of the cordless tools and some of the pneumatic impacts, the size of the equipment exceeds the dimensions of the unit technically itself. So basically, the units have to be modified in order for the guns to fit properly. All right, I'm not going to hold you up too much more longer in the introductory of things. What I want to do is I want to dive right in. I want to point out a few key things in this particular video. All right, I was supposed to receive the 2 holsters today, but unfortunately they're moving along a little late. I won't be receiving them until tomorrow, so that I can really start getting to things. All right, but in this particular video, I am going to do a demonstration. I'm going to show a couple of techniques as far as the modification, a couple of tips, as you may say. All right, but as I always state, as usual, I always keep my signature lingering somewhere in the background. My Dunkin' Donuts coffee. You already know. Okay, so pretty much I'm about to get, a few contents out to the top of the tool cart. I'm gonna give you a few pointers just in case you have a service cart of the same make, or just any service cart in general, depending upon your suits and your needs and your specifications of work. All right, so we're gonna dive right in and get to it. So walk with me. Let's get it. Okay, in this first visual, what I basically want to show you, as you can see, have a couple of things sitting out at the top of the tool cart, which this is the Husky Power Tool magnetic cordless organizer. Okay, and as you can see, I have technically some masking tape that's basically sitting to the bottom. Okay, the reason why I actually have the tape towards the top, okay, is to basically get a certain stencil of the particular impacts, and with the stencil will allow me to see just how much needs to be shaved and in which areas technically need to be cut. Okay, so what I want to do is I'm going to face this magnetic power cordless tool organizer down so that you can see the stencil. So if I can get it tilted down, okay, where that you can see things. Okay, now as you can see here, right, this is where the 3/8 stubby would lie. Okay, so now you can basically see what needs to be shaved in order for the 3/8 stubby, all right, to fit in this particular compartment. So with that being said, this may not necessarily have to be cut. This particular holster, you may be able to just simply file these areas out, all right, with a particular file. Now towards this side, as you can see here, this is for the Milwaukee high torque 1/2 inch, okay? And as you can see, I have the correct stencil on the tool itself. The reason why I went about it this way is because without the stencil, you don't want to cut by eye, okay? And then technically cut the metal more wider in dimension than what it needs to be. Otherwise, the tool will just technically fall through the hole. That's not what you want. You want the tool to basically sit in very firmly, okay? Okay, so knowing that technically, I'll be installing 2 of these towards the back, okay? And as you can see, each unit would technically hold 3 guns. So with me installing 2, okay, that's 6 guns to each unit. But just as well as you can see here, all right, on this particular one, all right, and how you can see I have the extensions here. Okay, as you can see how I have the extensions here, this is how technically I will be able to get 8 different units to 2 of these magnetic organizers towards the back. Okay, so now we're gonna move along because I'm gonna show you something else now. Okay, now what you're looking at right here, okay, is a Harbor Freight magnetic strip. Okay, in the process of doing this modification, you will technically need 2 of these magnetic strips here. Okay, when you get it out the packaging, all right, what's basically going to happen is you're going to have to remove one of the magnets. There are individual magnets once you remove this stripping, okay, but it's not technically needed to move the whole entire stripping. What you can do is get a box cutter, find the particular block in the center, remove the tape that's covering the magnet, okay, in that particular area, and then what you would have to do is you would have to pry out that center magnet, okay. Then now I'm going to show you the rest of the continuing process when mounting it towards the back of the 2 magnetic power cordless tool organizers, so that both of the magnets is locked into both of the Husky magnetic power tool organizers, where that it will lock them together. Okay, now to give you a visual, all right, as you can see, I have one of the magnetic rails attached to the Husky magnetic power tool organizer. Okay, but if you notice how I actually have it positioned, because I actually have a position to stick to 2 different magnetic power tool organizers. Okay, so on both ends of the magnetic strips, as you can see here, okay, they technically have holes where that you can mount your hardware. All right, now what I just stated to you about removing the magnet, okay, the magnet is going to give you a certain particular space. So when the magnet is basically centered towards the center, okay, over here in this corner is where that screw would go through the magnet. So it's the same thing if I had the other magnetic power tool organizer over here towards this end, so that you would have 2 screws facing, okay, but what you want to do is you want to have them drilled coming inward so that they lock in from these particular corners. Okay, now if you notice on this side, okay, here, and this is the side where the magnets are actually located. When it's time to basically mount the holsters to the cart itself, now what you would do is you would put the hardware in on this side and you would reverse, okay, you would reverse the magnetic power tool organizer towards the back end of the cart. Now the next process is you would have to remove, okay, the drawers in order to lock down the bolts, okay, that would be going from here outwards. You understand? Once you remove the drawers, you'll be able to lock everything down on the inside. Now, the thing that you have to be mindful to is the fasteners that you tend to use in this application, because you got to be mindful that the drawers have to close, okay? So you have to have enough space. So when using the hardware, okay, you have to be very precise, because you're going to want your drawers to be able to close. You're not going to want to get this mounted and then you got everything all flush and everything is all perfect and you tightened everything down from the inside. Then you get to the point where that now you're installing the drawers, but now the fasteners from the inside is blocking the drawers from closing, okay? So that's something else, you know, to be mindful to, all right? Okay, now I'm going to take you back to the initial stencil, all right, that was made for the foam liner and the Husky Perma Grip, okay, that was technically laid towards the top of the magnetic power tool organizer, which is the actual correct measurement, all right? But see, now, once I still have the original stencil, what I can do is transparent this tape, okay, to this particular stencil, all right, so that I can get basically the same measurements cut in this particular stencil, all right, so that when come time to lay the foam liner, all right, and the mesh perma grip, everything will lay very firmly. So okay, if you're not familiar with the perma grip, which is a mesh material, okay, as you can see here, this material is not a foaming material, okay, it's more like a semi type plastic type material, but it's very durable and it's very easy to clean, okay. And as you can see here, I have a regular cutout piece of foam liner, all right, but this is something that I also want to demonstrate. This small piece right here is not actually cut for this holster, all right, but when I do go to cut the foam liner, all right, it won't technically be cut for just one unit, okay, it will be cut for both units, where that it would stretch along the whole top of one unit. Same thing, okay, with the perma grip, it will be one long piece running along the whole top of 2 units, okay, which there will be 6 different units cut out at top. Another thing that I would like to point out, before, you know, you tend to do a modification and say, just hypothetically speaking, you had power solutions, okay, as far as you want to run charges and battery power supply strips and things like that. What you would want to do before mounting, okay, is possibly get a step drill bit, all right, and get some rubber grommets. You can either run a corded line through this side, you can run it through the back, you can run it down the back end corner. It's all dependent upon your preference and to your liking and your specification as far as how you see things and how you would technically would like things to look, okay. Another thing that I would like to mention also is that these magnetic strips, okay, when applied to this particular metal surface, all right, these magnetic strips do lock into this Husky magnetic power tool organizer very tightly, okay, without it actually being bolted to the magnetic power cordless tool organizer. But the self tapping screws or hardware that you tend to use will give it the reinforcement that it basically needs, okay, where that it'll be extremely stable. When it comes to this particular magnetic power tool organizer that I have actually stored towards this side of the cart, okay, it's locked in so tight to the point that if I were to take the guns and everything out and take everything, off, or I technically don't even have to take everything off. I can literally stand on the top of this and it won't even budge. It feels like it's, like it's actually part of the cart. And when I installed this, there is a video that I showed when I actually installed this, okay, on this particular cart. And I only use two self-tapping screws to mount this into the magnetic power strips. The magnetic power strips are the same dimension from side to side with the original OEM specs of this particular cart, okay? So they actually already originally lined up with the hardware that is attached to the subframe of this cart, okay? But the situation with now doing it towards the back of the cart is different because it's a different type of real estate of the cart in different area and location that you're working with. So this is why the modification, is important to be precise, all right? When doing so, you have to be very mindful, but in the same token, it's not something where that you have to overthink, okay? Okay, so pretty much, I'm about to wrap this video up here. This video today was just more of an informative video, just to give a little demonstration and a couple of tips, to the modifications, all right? Just in case, if you have a US General 5-drawer tool cart or you have a service cart in the same air like, and, you would like to step up, the presentation of your service cart and things of that nature, okay? So into that next tool review, that next tool haul, that next modification video, all right? Gonna check you later. Everybody keep it a safe and a blessed one out there as always. So we're gonna check you later. Peace.